If chocolate had a VIP lounge, the stuff made in Dubai would definitely be sitting in it, sunglasses on, wrapped in gold foil, and probably enjoying some AC. But have you ever wondered how those flawless bars of silky smooth chocolate actually come to life? Because once you pull back the golden wrapper and take that first bite, you're not just tasting cocoa, you're tasting chemistry, logistics, design, and engineering, all wrapped into one sweet experience. Let's rewind a bit. Before any chocolate even thinks about being chocolate, it starts with a humble little seed, cacao. And this seed? It's got a journey more intense than a passport stamped with 4 continents. From the lush rainforests of West Africa, South America, or Southeast Asia, cacao beans are plucked, fermented, and sun-dried. Once they're good and ready, they get packed into burlap sacks and shipped off to places like Dubai, where the magic really kicks off. Now imagine this. The beans arrive at the factory looking rough, dusty, and completely unrecognizable from the final shiny chocolate bar. First things first, they need a spa day. And by spa, we mean cleaning stations that sound like they're built by NASA engineers. There are vibrating sieves, magnetic traps, and suction tunnels that remove everything from loose pebbles to leftover pod fibers. It's like running the beans through a full body scan and detox just to make sure nothing but the good stuff goes through. Once the beans are squeaky clean, they're ready for the real transformation. And it all starts with the roast. But here's the twist. Roasting isn't just crank up the heat and let them cook. Nope. Factories treat roasting like an art gallery opening. It has to be just right. Every bean type has its own personality, and that means tailored roast profiles. These are like little time-temperature roadmaps, divided into 3 flavor-building stages: drying, browning, and development. Each phase adds a new layer to the bean's character, kind of like seasoning a cast iron pan. Patience and timing make all the difference. Too fast, and the flavors stay hidden. Too slow, and you risk burning away the soul of the bean. That's why some factories even adjust the airflow mid-roast, guiding the heat like a conductor leading an orchestra. It's not just heat hitting a drum, it's calculated, choreographed flavor engineering. During the drying phase, the beans start slow, around 100 degrees Celsius, gently losing moisture like they're warming up for the big show. Then comes browning, where the real flavor chemistry goes wild. Thanks to the Maillard reaction, basically sugar and protein doing a secret handshake, the beans start to develop those toasty, nutty, chocolatey notes. It smells like heaven in there. Finally, the development phase pushes the flavor into its final form. But it's a tightrope. Go too far and the chocolate can taste burnt or hollow. Too little and it's grassy and awkward. To make sure that doesn't happen, Dubai's chocolate factories lean into high-tech like pros. Think real-time infrared cameras, embedded temperature probes, and systems that can record updates every second. Once roasting is done, the beans get an immediate cool down. No lounging around. They hit chilled air tunnels or rotating cooling trays where big fans bring them down to earth quickly. This helps avoid steam buildup and keeps the outer shell from softening or getting weird. Now, those outer shells, they've got to go. Enter winnowing, a process that's equal parts cracking and clever airflow. Machines break the beans into pieces, and then precise air jets separate the lightweight shells from the dense cacao nibs. The result? Bins full of dark, intense nibs. This is the chocolate soul, right here. The winnowing process is oddly satisfying, like watching a magician pull off a perfectly timed card trick. Each crack of the bean is a step closer to unlocking that deep cocoa flavor just waiting to be unleashed. The air jets don't blast wildly. They're calibrated down to the millisecond to make sure only the husks get whisked away. It's like a chocolate sorting hat, sending the nibs to glory and the shells to the discard bin. And those husks, they're not always tossed out. Some factories repurpose them into teas or garden mulch. Nothing goes to waste. But the real prize is the nib. Crunchy, bitter, and packed with the raw essence of chocolate. At this point, you could almost stop and eat them as is, but the journey to silky, sweet perfection is just getting warmed up. From here, the nibs go on a serious grind, literally. Inside massive machines, pre-refiners, impact mills, or stone rollers, the nibs are crushed down until they start releasing cocoa butter. This changes the texture from gritty powder to something that flows like a warm, glossy paste. That paste? It's called chocolate liquor. Don't worry, it's not alcoholic, just liquid gold in its purest form. But we're not stopping there. That paste now needs finesse, so it heads into refiners, like 5-roll machines or ball mills. Imagine 5 big steel rollers stacked up like a chocolate sandwich press, each spinning at its own speed. The liquor passes through these gaps, and with each pass, the particles get finer. By the time they're done, the sugar and cocoa particles are around 15 to 25 microns, so small your tongue can't even tell they're individual pieces. That's how chocolate gets its silky smooth melt. At this point, sugar, already ground to match the texture, gets added to the mix. And depending on what's being made, there might also be milk powder, vanilla, lecithin, or other special ingredients, all dosed with insane precision by automated systems. It's like a gourmet kitchen, run by robots. Even though things are looking great, the mixture still feels a bit dry and pasty. That's where conching comes in. Picture giant heated tanks with rotating arms or granite rollers kneading and mixing the chocolate for hours, or sometimes even days. Conching does three things: it balances the flavor, spreads the fat evenly, and reduces unwanted moisture and acidity. It's not just about brute force though. Factories adjust temperature, airflow, and mechanical force at each conching stage. Some even use nitrogen or vacuum systems to control oxidation. They're basically turning chocolate into a science experiment, with incredibly tasty results. After all that conching, the chocolate is finally glossy, velvety, and fully alive with flavor, but it's still a liquid, and liquid chocolate isn't shelf ready. So now it's time for tempering, which is like chocolate's version of training for a beauty pageant. Tempering makes sure that when the chocolate hardens, it snaps when you break it, shines when you look at it, and melts on your tongue, not in your hand. This part is all about crystal control. Cocoa butter can form multiple types of crystals when it solidifies, but only one of them gives chocolate that perfect finish. So factories melt all existing crystals by heating the chocolate to 45 degrees Celsius, then cool it down to around 26 to 28 degrees Celsius to encourage just the right crystals to form. Then it's gently reheated to just under 32 degrees Celsius to keep those good crystals and ditch the rest. Tempering machines keep everything moving and precise, with sensors that adjust temperature and flow in real time. One wrong move, and you end up with streaky, crumbly, bloomed chocolate. Not cute. Once the chocolate is perfectly tempered, it's ready to be molded. Molds are preheated just a bit to avoid shock. Liquid chocolate flows in, molds get a little vibration to shake out air bubbles, and then off they go into long refrigerated tunnels. These cooling lines slowly bring the temperature down so the chocolate sets evenly without cracks or warping. Once it's solid, machines pop each piece out of the molds with gentle air bursts or mechanical nudges. Then it's off to quality inspection. This is where camera systems scan each bar like they're judging a chocolate fashion show. Any defects? Out. Imperfect bars are often remelted and sent back through the line. No waste allowed. Next up, wrapping. Whether it's a single bar or a filled bonbon, every piece passes through ultra-fast wrapping machines. These machines cut, fold, seal, and print packaging all in sync with the production line speed. The materials used, metallic film, wax paper, biodegradable foil, are chosen based on shelf life, climate, and even sustainability targets. In some cases, oxygen scavengers are slipped inside the wrappers to keep the chocolate fresher for longer. Wrapped and sealed, the chocolate heads to the next stop, boxing. Robotic arms pick and place each piece into retail boxes or bulk cartons, stacking them with surgical precision. Boxes get labeled with barcodes, batch numbers, and best by dates. Then it's on to palletizing. Pallets are shrink-wrapped, tagged, and stacked like chocolatey Tetris for shipment. Every single step is recorded, from roasting times to wrapping speeds. If someone in another country finds a weird bar with a crack, the factory can trace it all the way back to the exact drum that roasted the beans. That's how detailed the system is. Before anything leaves the factory, it heads to climate-controlled storage zones. These areas are like chocolate vaults, kept between 16 degrees Celsius and 20 degrees Celsius, with humidity below 60% to prevent sugar bloom or melting. Some bars even get stored under low lighting to protect their color. Especially important for white or milk chocolate, which can be a little more delicate. When it's finally time to ship, the chocolate rides in style, sometimes in refrigerated trucks or insulated containers. During hot months, some shipments only leave at night. Others get temperature sensors placed inside so the receiving team can check if anything overheated. If it did, that batch might be rejected, even if the packaging looks perfect. Even at the store level, the quality watch doesn't stop. Brands run audits to see if their bars are being displayed correctly, not too close to lights or AC vents. They'll buy random bars, test them in labs, and feed that data right back into production to improve shelf life and resilience. And here's the coolest part. These massive factories still leave room for creativity. They've got small batch lines tucked inside their mega operations so they can test seasonal flavors, new recipes, or limited editions without slowing down the main line. Even the smallest batch gets the same precision treatment, from bean to wrapper. So the next time you unwrap a bar of chocolate, especially the kind made in Dubai, know this: you're not just enjoying dessert, you're tasting an entire symphony of science, sensors, tradition, and innovation that spans oceans, climates, and continents. If you're fascinated by how something so small and sweet can come from such a complex process, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most captivating creations. Got a favorite chocolate bar or a factory you want us to explore next? Drop it in the comments. We read every one.